So I thought I would just show my fanciest pens in my collection and then ask you some questions about what you think of them. So I'm going to start with my Laban 325 in Sakura. This is actually the very first fountain pen that I purchased. And I bought it from Cult Pens UK site, and I think at the time I got it in a sale, so it was around £94, and it comes with a converter straight in the box, so you don't have to buy one, and it is a rhodium tipped nib, and plated. It's not, it's not gold, even though it looks gold. And obviously it has gold plated accents. But if you can see the, shall I turn this off for a sec? Oh, you can't really see. Let's turn it, can we turn it down? And you can see the resin there. And it's that kind of ice chip resin style, which, when you hold it at certain angles, the chips look like sakura petals, which is really cool. So as I said, it comes with a converter already, which is nice. I actually first used it with diamine, is it onyx, onyx black cartridges, and that was fine, but then I started getting into colors. So now this houses Mombado's hat from Diamine, which is a really dark purple. A lovely pen. It's kind of that more classic, almost cigar shape, with the gold accents and the faux ivory and look to the resin. It's really beautiful. The next very classic fancy pen that I have is my one and only Pelikan. A lot of you will know Pelikan, of course, they're a famous German brand. This is the M200 Golden Lapis. So you see it has the translucent blue body that's then filled with golden glitter, and then it has golden accents and the classic pelican bill shaped clip, and then the pelican logo finial, which stands up. I love the way it just stands up a little bit. I don't know, there's something really classy about the way this pen looks. And actually, the pen itself, it was more than the Laban, but it was less than £150. So, yeah, still what I consider an okay price point. I mean, not a pen you can buy that I can buy every day, but if I budget a little for it, I can certainly buy more. Although it is quite small. So if you compare it to the Laban, it's a much smaller, lighter pen. So it's one of those, besides a sports pen, it's one of the lightest I have in my collection. I kind of do like the slightly chunkier pens. So that's the Pelikan. And again, it's just plated gold. It's not real gold. Got some specks of ink. It actually has the matching golden lapis ink in it, which I got from the Pelikan Hub organizers. And yeah, it's beautiful. So if you know, Pelikan runs a hub across the world on the same day. If you're a member, you can go and meet other Pelikan enthusiasts, and you receive free ink and some other things, and it's just a way to enjoy pens and celebrate pens. in particular pelicans. So can't wait to go next year with my golden lapis and hang out with everybody. My next fancy pen is the Esterbrook Estie, which many will consider a fairly common pen. A lot of people who are into fountain pens have an Estie. They come in a variety of these, again, the chipped resin look, but many different colorways. They have special edition ones. This is the Botanical Garden. I purchased it at the London Pen Show. And there's actually a picture of me with it in the New York Times style section from mid-October of 2024, because there was a person there, a journalist, doing a story on the show for the New York Times style section, and he just randomly started talking to me and my friends and took a picture of me and put it in the article. So that was nice. Yeah, I had my 15 seconds of fame. But this is a lovely pen. As you see, the Botanical Garden, it's got lots of different colors in it. It's got red, a little purple, blue, green, lots of green, some gold, silvery notes, and each one is very different. Mine comes with the silver accents, mainly because this is a story, but when I do the review of this pen I will tell that story. But yeah, I searched every pen till I found the exact combination of colors that I really wanted. So, but it also comes with its own converter. All my pens except for my sports are converter pens at the moment. And it currently has Red Dragon from Diamine in it, which is a lovely dark red. And one of the reasons I got it, it was fall, and I wanted a kind of fall themey looking pen. I mean, garden we tend to think of as spring, but I just felt the colors were a little bit more on the fallish side instead of a spring pen, so I wanted something that I could use every day in the fall, and I did. And that's why the converter is almost empty. The price on this pen, it is an American import, so in the UK they sell for around £200 or just under. And it's hard to get discount on them here. You can get them on eBay, sometimes cheaper. Yeah, and I kind of felt victim to the having it in my hand and picking the right colors and, you know, which I guess you pay a little bit extra for. I mean, if you buy one on eBay, you can't guarantee what it looks like. And also the person from Esterbrook was really lovely, but I will tell that story another time. So my next fancy pen is this pen. It is the Ferris wheel press Marquise pen, and this was a Kickstarter campaign, so I actually paid for the pen I think in August and got the pen right at Christmas or right after, so it was kind of perfect timing. But this is the Aubergine, as this beautiful, what I would consider perfect purple. It's actually in the viewfinder here, it looks more blue purple, but in real life it's definitely got that kind of royal purple look to it. And as you can see, it's beveled all the way around and it has gold accent. And when you open it, it has this lovely stamped section and matching nib. It's so beautiful. I can't even my glasses on, even kind of holding it up to the phone, it's hard for me to see the detail. It's so small. I don't know if they use a laser to do all the etching, but it's beautiful. And they're kind of known for this aesthetic. Yeah, so it's my one and only Ferris wheel press pen, but I love it. It's beautiful to write with. And at the moment, it has the Tatcha Murazoki. Is that the right? I'll look in a minute. Ink in it. And I showed this off in my January currently inked video. And my last fanciest pen, of course, has to be a sparkly Benu, and one of the sparkliest Benus out there. There are several others. There's a gold version of this and different ones, and of course they're known for their resin filled with sparkle, and this is actually a clear resin then filled with silver and blue notes and a little bit of turquoise, and it's gorgeous, and obviously it just blings out the room. Some people are really turned off by this type of pen, but this is a pen I saw early on in my journey and had been wishing for. And so it is the pen I got for Christmas. Yes, it is gorgeous and we love it. And it just has silver accents. Keeping the accents minimal, black and silver, to go with the silver body. It's the type is Euphoria, and the name is Vodka on the Rocks. And it definitely looks like a vodka on the rocks. So it has this black section which kind of breaks up all the bling if you're using it a lot. And then just a simple nib. And it writes really well. And this currently houses Jacques Herbin Metropolitan ink, which is a green ink. And again, you would have seen this in my January currently inked. And I did use this and my Ferris wheel press throughout January. So I didn't talk about the price of the Ferris wheel press. So I got this on Kickstarter, and they are a Canadian company, so everything was Canadian dollars. So I think it was somewhere in the £90 range after conversion. And I didn't have to pay any import tax on that because it was under the threshold. But I felt really lucky because now it is available on Colt Pens and it's £160. Yeah, so I think I lucked out and got a good deal on a great pen. Oh, and I should mention I did get the Pelikan also from Colt Pens, I think. I'm going to be honest with you, I buy a lot of pens from Colt Pens and a lot of other things from Colt Pens. I have branched out into some of the other UK online retailers and some of the more independent, like smaller ones. But the majority of my pens have come from Colt Pens, obviously, except for that one. And the Benu, I did get, they were having a slight discount, so it was around when they were doing the discounts at the end of the year. So I think it was like around, I can't remember exactly. It was over, it might have been like over £100. I think they retail like $125 or $130. I can't remember. I would have to look it up, but somewhere in that range. And I didn't pay full retail price for it. A few pounds less, which is always nice. So those are what I would call my fancy pens. And the reason they're fancy is because the way they look, for me, they're price points because, obviously the Esterbrook is the most expensive pen in the bunch. And the Ferris wheel is probably the least, next the Lamy, and then I think the Benu, and the Pelikan. So I think some people, if you don't know pens, you might be surprised that the Estie is the most expensive when it's sort of a bit simpler in its design. It's just your basic cigar shape, resin, not a lot of detail on the outside. It just lets the resin speak for itself. And I think, in my mind at least, the Laban, because it has that more classic look to it of the with the cream faux ivory and the gold plated accents where there's quite a few rings. I don't know, something about it says, I don't know, slightly more expensive pen, like harkening back to classic pens, Parkers and Mont Blancs, or I don't know. I mean, those are not pens that I think about a lot. They're not usually in my price range, so I don't know a lot about them. But I feel like when you look at a pen that looks like this, you know, if it wasn't pink, if it wasn't a light pink, you might think it's an antique or older pen. I don't know. You say in the comments, do you think that? Is that what this pen says to you? That's what it says to me. And I think something like this with the tapered back, the pointed back, again, it's like a classic look to it. You know, what would have once been considered a more feminine style of pen, or even the type of pen that sits, you know, in its own like little gold house, you know, in the like a desk set, you know, where you would have a pen in a holder, and usually they might be more tapered at the back. I don't know, am I making that up? It I just feel like something about it, like 1930s, you know, woman of the estate kind of look to it. Maybe just wishful thinking also because of the gold and the etching, and I forget the name. Every one of their nibs has a name, and mine is like Queen something, because it's a fine. But yeah, you let me know in the comments. Am I being silly? Is that just me thinking like that? I think a lot of people would think this is gaudy, ostentatious, cheap. But if you love bling, you love bling. So those of us who love bling can appreciate it. And those of you who don't can look away. Yeah, and the Pelikan, I mean, something surprising about the Pelikan is that it's more expensive in these bigger, weightier pens. And I will say, I know other people have said this, even though it is a resin body, because it's so lightweight and thin, it's bordering on plasticky. I wouldn't say that it's terrible once you start writing and holding it. You don't think that way, but I feel like it could turn people off just because it's so small. But I think it's in line with things like Sailor Pro Gear Slims. I don't know. You tell me. Those who own those, I don't own any of those, but if you do you think this pen is kind of similar to that? Yeah, so tell me what you think in the comments. Do you think any of these qualify as truly fancy? What's your definition of fancy? What's your fanciest pen, if you will? Let me know in the comments. I love this type of discussion. Because it really is subjective, and you can also find me now. Well, I've been on Blue Sky as Penfilled also, so if you want to talk to me about pens on there, come on there. Use the words fountain pen in any post, and you will automatically put in the fountain pen feed. That post will, at least. But yeah, follow me, I'll follow you back, and we can talk about pens.